You've become a secret millionaire and this is your whole life. $450 million. No one knows. Welcome to other life. Today, you carry the weight of silence. Enjoy the ride, because being hidden is the ultimate power. 6:30 a.m. The alarm clock. You open your eyes and for the first few seconds, you stare at the ceiling. There's a crack on the ceiling, stretching from the chandelier to the window. You could fix it in a day, along with the whole house. It stays. You'll understand why later. You get up, go to the kitchen, and put the kettle on. Your apartment is ordinary, not a dump, just ordinary. Clean, simple, nothing extra, nothing memorable. The kind of apartment a realtor shows in 8 minutes. Outside the window is a gray courtyard. Your neighbor is warming up his 9-year-old Kia. An ordinary morning for an ordinary person, except for one detail. While the water boils, you pick up your phone and open an app, not the one everyone uses, a different one. And on the screen, a number lights up, $450 million. Not pounds, dollars, 450, followed by 6 zeros. You look at it for about 3 seconds, the way you'd look at a weather forecast. You close it, pour your coffee. No one knows about this number. Not your mother, who slips you $50 every time she sees you and says, "Buy yourself a normal jacket." Not your friends, who ask you to chip in for a barbecue and apologize in advance that it'll be $15 per person. Not your colleagues, not your boss, not the girl from the next building over who says hi to you by the elevator. To the whole world, you're a guy in his 30s in an unremarkable jacket, with an average salary and no real prospects. But don't get it wrong, you're not living in poverty. You're living invisibly. And those are two different things. It's just that your money gets spent where no one is looking. The mattress you sleep on costs as much as a used foreign car, but it looks like just a mattress. Twice a year, you get a full checkup at the best clinic in the country, under a different last name. Twice a year, you disappear. Your colleagues think you're visiting family in the countryside, but you're flying business class to the other side of the planet, somewhere you won't accidentally run into anyone you know. Sleep, health, time, silence, safety, that's what your money goes toward. Everything invisible is the best possible option. Everything visible is meant to make the eye slide right past it. A jacket no one will look at twice. A car no one will remember. And that crack on the ceiling isn't poverty, it's makeup. Part of the costume you put on every morning. Why? No, it's not a witness protection program, and you're not crazy. You have a reason. A real, heavy reason to stay silent, and you try not to think about it. But today, you won't be able to. Today, one phone call in the evening will make you remember everything. But for now, you put on that jacket you're embarrassed about in front of your mom, and you head out into the city. And here's the strange part. When you've got nearly $500 million in your account, the world doesn't become more luxurious, it becomes more transparent. You start seeing money everywhere, real money and fake money. You see who's crying, who's pretending, who's drowning, and smiling. It's like an X-ray you can't turn off. And the first snapshot from that X-ray is waiting for you right now, at the coffee shop across the street from your building.
You're watching Other Life. Hit play and forget where you are. Tell us, in the comments, whose life would you like to try next?
The coffee shop is just a coffee shop. You order the simplest black coffee, sit by the window, and then he lands at the table next to yours. You hear him before you see him. He's talking on the phone loud enough for the whole place to hear. A kid, about 25. Supreme hoodie. Fresh sneakers worth 50 grand, a watch on his wrist that looks expensive from a distance. On the table, the latest MacBook and an iPhone that came out 2 months ago. He finishes the call with, "Alright, bro, we're working." A million's nothing, and starts filming his stories. He films his MacBook, his $6 coffee with gold foam, his watch in a separate shot, turning his wrist toward the light. He captions it with something about success being discipline. And you know what you see? What none of his followers see. The hoodie was bought on installment. The sneakers are on credit at 26% APR, because the bank won't give him normal terms anymore. The iPhone is on a 24-month plan, 21 more payments to go. The MacBook isn't even his, he borrowed it from a friend for the shoot. The watch is a replica. And he knows it, which is why he never lets anyone hold it. His rent is a week overdue. He's got maybe $80, maybe $100 on his card. And about $3,000 in debt, growing every month because he's paying off one loan with another. How do you know all this? Nowhere specific. It's just that when you've got real money, you can tell instantly when someone's faking it. Like a musician who hears a wrong note. Real money is lazy and quiet. It doesn't need to prove anything. Everything that sparkles, spins in front of a camera, and says a million isn't money, it's screaming one thing: look at me, believe me. I really need you to believe me. And here's the most interesting part. This guy isn't a con artist or an idiot. He's a victim. Since he was 14, every screen has been telling him that wealth is an image. First you fake success, then it comes. They sold him a storefront and forgot to tell him there's supposed to be a store behind it. Now he's paying 26% APR so strangers on the internet think he made it. He's not buying things, he's buying other people's glances. The most expensive currency in the world, and the most useless. You and he spend money in exactly opposite ways. He pays for the visible and has nothing inside. You pay for the invisible. That's the whole difference between the image of wealth and actual wealth. You finish your coffee. As you pass him, you hear him say into the camera, "Remember, the ones who stay poor are the ones who think like poor people." You could buy this coffee shop, the whole chain, the company that makes his hoodie, but you just hold the door for him, because he's leaving at the same time, phone to his face. He doesn't say thank you. People in unremarkable jackets are invisible to him. If only he knew that the invisible man holding the door is worth more than everyone he follows combined. By the way, if you're starting to figure out what money actually looks like without the cameras and the flexing, hit subscribe. This X-ray is only going to get sharper. You head to the subway, a workday awaits. Yes, you still go to work. A regular office, a regular position. And in 40 minutes, a man who earns less in a year than your account makes in a morning will be reprimanding you in front of the whole department, and you'll stand there and stay silent. And here's why that silence is the strongest thing you'll do all day. The office greets you with the smell of vending machine coffee and the hum of the AC. You sit at your desk, the third one from the window, gray like everyone else's. On your monitor, a yellow sticky note, meeting at 10. You know what that means. Yesterday, the department submitted the quarterly report. They found a mistake in it, and someone has to take the fall. And you already know who. Not because you made the mistake, but because that's how your boss works. He's pushing 50. His jackets are slightly more expensive than he can afford, and his watch is just the right kind to make his subordinates think he's made it. His crossover is on a 5-year loan, parked closest to the entrance. And his rules, which he considers management wisdom, include publicly tearing someone apart once a week to keep the team sharp. At 10 o'clock, you're all in the conference room. He holds the printout of the report with 2 fingers, like a dead mouse, and starts speaking loudly, pausing deliberately, savoring it. "This," he says, "this is what you call work?" He lists your shortcomings, half of which are his own edits that he made last week. Your colleagues stare at the floor. Some are quietly relieved it's not their turn today. And you stand there, nod, and say, "Got it. I'll fix it." Now let's count what no one in this conference room can see. Your money is invested boringly and safely. No casino. Just plain conservative instruments. The capital brings in tens of millions of dollars a year. Over $100,000 a day, about $5,000 an hour. While your boss spends 12 minutes lecturing you on life, your account grows by $1,000. His annual salary, with bonuses, flows into your account in about 9 hours. Not 9 months, 9 hours. In the time it takes him to deliver one monologue, you earn more than he makes in an entire shift. You could make 2 phone calls right now and own the company by evening, the company where he proudly wears that jacket. The thought even flickers through your mind for a second and a half, then fades. Because you know something he doesn't. Petty revenge is a tax that weak people pay to their ego. Buying a company just to fire one person is like buying a plane to crush an ant. It's not even about the money. It's about the fact that the ant would start meaning something to you and it shouldn't. But here's what's more important. Look at these people in the conference room. Every one of them is silent because they're afraid. Mortgage, loans, kids. What if they get fired? Their silence is fear. Yours is the only choice in this room. You're the only one here working voluntarily. You could stand up in the middle of this meeting, walk out, and never come back. And nothing in your life would change. That's the main thing money buys you, not yachts, but the absence of fear. No one in this building even has a clue what it's like to live with absolutely nothing to fear. And you've forgotten what it's like to live any other way. So why the job? Because your job is your alibi. An ordinary person needs documents to confirm their identity. A secret rich person needs an ordinary life to confirm their cover story. Your salary explains your apartment, your jacket, your morning coffee. Take away the job, and the questions start: how do you live? What do you do all day? Questions are cracks, and through cracks, secrets leak out. But there's a second reason, more honest than the first. Without these people, without the meetings and sticky notes, your life would become an empty apartment with a number on your phone. You've been through that once before. You don't want to remember it, but tonight you'll have to. The meeting ends. Your boss tosses the printout on the table. And by the way, be grateful you have this job. You say thank you and walk out of the conference room, the richest person not just in this office, but probably in the whole neighborhood, including the owners of all the business centers around. At lunch, you'll carry your secret to a place where people in unremarkable jackets are treated even more honestly than in offices. The bank. Lunchtime. You need to close an old account. A 10-minute formality. You walk into a branch of a major bank, take a ticket, wait, and watch the show that plays out here every day. Only the audience doesn't notice it, because they're in it themselves. At window number 3, there's an elderly woman, over 70. The manager, with a rehearsed smile, is setting up a deposit for her and says, "How about I also add investment life insurance?" It's like a deposit, but more profitable. The old woman nods, she trusts it. A bank is almost like the government. She doesn't know she's signing a contract that freezes her money for 5 years, with no guaranteed returns at all, and the manager will get 3 times the commission for this sale than for the deposit. It's not fraud, it's all legal. It's just that the law was written by people who understand fine print. For those who don't read it. Your turn. Window number 5. Behind the glass, a guy with eyes that say his sales quota has been on fire for the second week. He looks at you for exactly 1 second. Unremarkable jacket, simple haircut, 3-year-old phone. That's it, evaluation complete, label applied, unpromising client, no need to try. The coffee they're offering to the man in the suit over there? You don't get offered any. He drones, close the account. Passport. Wait. He types without looking. Then, on autopilot, in a bored voice, want to get a credit card? 120 days interest-free. A credit card to a man who could buy this entire branch, including him and the coffee machine for clients in suits. And here's what you realize while sitting in that chair. A bank is the only place on earth where money is met strictly by your clothes. No money? They'll push a loan at 30%. Got a little? They'll sell you useless insurance. And when you have a lot of it, they simply won't see you here, because real money doesn't go to branches. It has a separate entrance, a separate floor, and a personal manager who comes to you wherever you say. You know, because you have one. He calls twice a month from a different number and addresses you by your first name and patronymic. The guy behind the glass services your cover story. The other one, the one you don't see, handles your money. These two worlds never intersect. You take your passport, politely decline the credit card, and walk out. You've got 20 minutes left of your lunch break, and you spend them on a small weakness, the only one you allow yourself. Across the street is a car dealership. Big, glass-walled, with cars you look at the way others look at paintings. You just want to go in, but the man behind the glass doors has already seen your jacket and already made up his mind. The doors slide open with a soft hiss, and you're hit with the smell of new leather and polish. A smell they make on purpose, because it sells better than any manager. The lighting is like a theater. Each car under its own spotlight. And there it is, in the center of the showroom. The one. You know everything about it, the engine, the acceleration, how long the wait for delivery is. You walk up and just look. The salesperson appears in a minute. A tailored suit, gelled hair, perfect strands. He walks not toward you, but toward the car, positioning himself between you and it like a guard, and puts on a face, a mix of boredom and mild disgust. He looks you over from your shoes to your collar and delivers his verdict, "Did you want something?" The emphasis on you. You say, "Just looking." "Beautiful car." He purses his lips. "You can look online. Here, people buy." And turning away, "It's 18 million, by the way. If that matters, you do the math, about $200,000, less than 2 days' worth of your capital's earnings. You could buy it today, plus another one for parts. And the whole dealership, with the leather smell and the gel in his hair. In any movie, this is where the revenge moment hits. Black card, wrap up both, and enjoy the look on his face. A beautiful scene. Know why it only happens in movies? Because in real life, you don't pay for it with money. Look at what happens if you pull out your card. The salesperson tells his colleagues. Colleagues tell their friends. In a week, someone walks in and asks, What guy bought a car here, dressed like a mover? Information is water. All it needs is a crack in your finger. Someone will remember your face, someone will Google you, someone will connect the dots, and the secret you've guarded for years will die for 20 seconds of someone else's shock. The real price of that scene isn't 18 million. The real price is your entire life, which you'd have to rebuild from scratch. The weak care what a salesperson thinks of them. You've got 450 million reasons not to give a damn. And one more thing this guy will never guess, you're not looking at that car as a dream. A dream is what you can't have. You can have it, so you're free. The desire to own dies the moment the word can't disappears. All that's left is calm interest, like in a museum. That's the secret that posers will never understand. Things only have power over people who can't afford them. This salesman works among cars he can't buy, and so he despises anyone who, in his eyes, can't either. He guards someone else's wealth like a dog guarding a warehouse of food it'll never be given. You walk out, the doors hissing behind you. In the parking lot, you get into your own car, 10 years old, Japanese, reliable, forgettable. And then the phone rings. No, not that call yet. This one's from another life. On the screen, a name you've known for 20 years. Your best friend. You sat at the same desk. He let you copy his physics homework. You covered for him with his parents. You pick up, and from the first 2 seconds of silence, you understand everything. That's how people sound when they've been meaning to call for a week and rehearsing the first sentence. Hey, he says, too cheerfully. How are you? Life, weather, work, 3 minutes of small talk, you play along, you don't rush him. And finally he exhales, listen, there's something really awkward. Could you spot me until payday? Like $400. I'll pay you back at the end of the month. I swear, it's just my wife's tooth, the treatment is insane, and my credit card's maxed. His voice drops at the last words. It physically hurts a grown man in his 40s to say those words. You know what this call cost him. He agonized for a week and chose you because you won't lecture him and you won't tell anyone. You say, of course, bro, no problem. I'll send it now. You hear him exhale with relief. Thanks, you're the best. I'll pay you back. Don't worry. He will. He always pays back, even when he doesn't have to. You hang up, you open the app, the regular payroll one, and you transfer $400. Your capital earned that money while your friend was saying the word awkward. Now stop right there. Here, in your car in the parking lot, the heaviest scene of your day unfolds, and no one in the world sees the drama in it. Your friend, a real one, tested by 20 years, is suffocating. Mortgage, credit cards, a falling apart car, a job he hates but is terrified of losing. You know all his debts. He told you himself over beers, laughing the way people laugh to keep from howling. All in all, about $25,000. For you, that's less than a day. One transfer, and your friend wakes up as a man who owes nothing to anyone. You could do it right now, without getting out of your seat. Your finger hovers over the screen and you don't do it. You put the phone away and start the engine. Why? To the question, why don't you save even the people you love? You have an answer. It weighs more than your entire account. And tonight, after one phone call, you'll tell it. But first, the couch and the feed, where people whose money exists only in their profile names will teach you how to get rich. Evening. Buckwheat with chicken is heating up on the stove, because you genuinely like buckwheat with chicken. And that's the only truth about you that everyone believes without question. You open your phone, and the feed does what it does every evening, teaches you to be rich. First video, a guy buy a white Lamborghini. While you sleep, I work. You know that parking lot? They rent supercars for shoots there. An hour costs $200. They hand over the keys on camera, but no driving. Second, a wealth mindset coach. A course for $1,500, 3 spots left. Behind him, a penthouse, a photo studio rented by the hour. You've seen it in 3 other courses. Third, a girl unboxing a $1 million bag. Invest in yourselves, girls. Tomorrow, that bag goes back for a refund. Fourth, fifth, 10th. All evening, you won't see a single person in your feed who actually has money. And here's the final snapshot from your X-ray, the simplest and the scariest. In this world, wealth is performed by those who don't have it, and hidden by those who do. The storefront and the warehouse never match. The kid from the coffee shop pays interest to look the part. The coach sells a path he never walked himself, while real money eats buckwheat and stays quiet. If you want to find a rich person in a crowd, don't look for shine, look for calm. Shine is always selling something. Calm has nothing to sell. You're about to put the phone down, and then it rings. Mom. She calls, like clockwork, on Wednesdays about the jacket and your health. That's not the issue. The issue is what she says after the jacket and health. Son, I ran into your brother at the store today. He asked about you, told me to tell you he doesn't hold a grudge. Your brother. You haven't spoken in 4 years, and now you'll have to remember. And since this day has brought you here, remember it all the way. 4 years ago, everything was different. The money came fast back then. Not this 450 million less. The first serious money, the kind that makes your head spin. And you did what any normal person raised on family movies would do. You didn't tell everyone, just your own mom, brother. You thought you were sharing joy. You didn't know you were pressing a button that would blow everything up. The first 2 weeks were good. Then it started. Mom started speaking in a different voice, cautious, like she was talking to a boss, stopped complaining about her blood pressure, because now it felt awkward. Relatives you'd seen twice in your life suddenly remembered you existed. Your uncle asked for money for a business. You gave it. The business died in 6 months. Your uncle disappeared. At family gatherings, people started saying you could have given more and you'd gotten full of yourself. Every conversation started normally and ended with money. You stopped knowing who was calling you and who was calling your account. And then there was your brother. He didn't ask. You offered yourself. Family is family. You paid off his loans. All in one transfer. You thought you were giving freedom, but you gave him a mirror. Every day, he saw one thing: he was the one who'd been saved. The younger one, pulled out by the older one. He couldn't forgive that. First he disappeared, then he started telling the family you were buying them off with handouts, and 6 months later he called drunk and said it all. That you were always a lucky bastard, that people like you don't earn money, they steal it. One blood, one act of help, and an empty chair at the New Year's table. Money didn't corrupt your brother. It turned on the light in a room where you'd both been sitting in the dark your whole lives. And it turned out that everything was held together by the fact that you were equal. You took away the equality, everything fell apart. That's when you did what no one knows about. You lied. You told everyone you'd invested, lost it all, and had no money left. You sold your nice car in front of the family, moved into an ordinary one-bedroom. And a miracle happened. Mom started complaining about her blood pressure again and slipping you $50 for a jacket. The relatives vanished. People came back, because equality had returned. Your poverty turned out to be the only thing you ever bought with money that actually made you happy. That's the reason. That's why the crack on the ceiling stays there. That's when you understood the rule you paid the highest price for in your life. Big money doesn't change you, it changes everyone around you. Everyone who finds out automatically gets a role: the asker, the envier, the advisor, or the offended one. There are only 4 roles, and none of them is called friend. Not even brother. That's why you don't save your friend with one transfer. Not because you're stingy or it's funny, but because you already saved your brother. Your friend borrows $400 and pays it back and stays your friend. An equal man who calls you for barbecues and argues about football. Give him $25,000, and in a year, you won't have a friend. You'll have another person who doesn't hold a grudge. Your silence isn't a vault for money. It's a vault for people, the last real ones, who love you, not the number. If you disagree, if you think you should save your loved ones at any cost, write it in the comments. Seriously. It's a debate where it's important to hear both sides. You tell your mom, send him my regards. You hang up, finish your buckwheat, hang the old jacket on the hook. You and it are alike, nothing to look at from the outside, but real on the inside. And you go to sleep in your one bedroom, with the crack in the ceiling. Richer than anyone you've ever met, and invisible to everyone you love. Tomorrow, the alarm will scream again at 6:30. You'll put on that jacket again, stay silent at the meeting, and hold a door for someone. And now you know, this isn't a disguise, it's a choice. Every day, you choose people over admiration, silence over applause, the real over the storefront. And you live like royalty where no one can see, in your sleep, in your health, in the absence of fear. 450 million isn't what you have. It's what you keep quiet about, so you can have everything else. And now a question for you, the one who watched till the end: if this number appeared in your account tomorrow, would you tell your mom, your brother, your loved one? Think before you answer. Today, you lived a day in the life of a man who once told this story. If this story made you stop even once, hit like. It decides whether it reaches someone who needs it. And subscribe. On this channel, we talk about money, the things money prefers to stay silent about. The price of risk is always higher than the tag says. See you in the next story.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Every week, a new life awaits. Thank you for spending this life with us. That's it for today. Take care, and until next time, improve your life every day.